Yo, what's going on, guys? Jared here. I know I just posted a tier deck yesterday, but today we were blessed with a ban list, and tier got destroyed. Now, I am going to be having a discussion video like I always do for every ban list with Nick and Vince later, but as soon as I got home, I wanted to start cooking decks immediately, and I wanted to start with tier again to immediately update it. I did see Pack's list. I wanted to change it and make it a little differently. I did not want to play the Mikanko package. I find it a little bit bricky in my opinion, but I wanted to try this. This was a more Kashtira type build, and this isn't more reference in line with the OCG list. I'm going to go through this by card and do a little explanations when I'm done, and it'll make sense to you at the end. And I have been mock drawing this and have been making a lot of boards. I'm doing this for the past hour. It is pretty consistent. I'm not going to give it like the same consistency. Obviously, this tech took a huge hit. But I would probably say 70% of the time it's been still making Rudy Kalos Kaleido Heart with like 1 to 2 traps set. I think that's pretty good. That seems fine to me. For a tier deck that's just got destroyed. But yeah, without further ado, I'm just going to get right into the actual list. So we are obviously playing one of all of the Isuzu cards still. The Millers are still amazing. I'm not set in stone on the Shufflers, and the reason I'm not set in stone on these is because, not even because we're not worried about tier mirror matches anymore. TEARLAMENT, like, these cards don't really help you anymore. They don't do anything. You don't need level 4s on the field. It doesn't help you in the long scheme of things. And if you're going to be playing against Kashtira and Flunder, yeah, these cards kind of suck. They don't use the graveyard. So these are probably cuttable. Again, this is like a very early list of where I think tier can go. But overall, like, yeah, one of every of the Isuzu cards still, just because I think that they're still, especially Guido and Kelbeck are still insanely strong. But if you do draw Keldo and Midori, you can still special them and discard and stuff like that. Now, I did go back, if you remember previously in an old tier lists, we're going back to the Danger package. And the reason we're going back to the Danger package is that we need 1 Aqua Monsters, because, believe it or not, Aqua Monsters are really important because they go into Kaleido Heart. This does not take TEARLAMENT monsters, it takes Aqua Monsters. So we actually need the extra Aqua Monsters to be able to go into Kaleido Heart. We also need Nessie because it is a level 7. If you are looking at this deck, you can see there's a lot of level 7s and that we are now playing Dracossack. The reason you're playing Dracossack now is because you make the 2 tokens, which are both level 3. You link both of the tokens off to go into Cherubini. You use the Cherubini to then send King of the Swamp. Then you link off the Dracossack and the Cherubini to go into Sprint, send Merly, and now you have a Rudy Kalos line still. That line is just with 2 level 7s, I'm going to keep in mind. So yeah, that is very important. You can get to King of the Swamp through 2 level 7 monsters, and you can get the Sprint through 2 level 7 monsters, which is pretty crazy. We are also playing Jackalope and Tutsunoko. Obviously, these are both level 3s as well. They are also just good link fodder for anything like that. They also help go into something like Mud Dragon also. 3 copies of Fenrir. Yeah, we got Kashtira Fenrir, and this is a free level 7 body that searches, that is helpful to keeping advantage and helps in the grind game later. Can search TEARLAMENTS Kashtira. And yeah, just a really good card. Like I said, we have the Isuzu cards, 3 King of the Swamp. This is going to be the new bread and butter of TEARLAMENT when you have one of all of the tier names that super sucks. So you need extra cards to go into your fusion monsters, and King of the Swamp is going to be the best one. So the whole deck is probably going to be resolving around this card now. I am choosing to play 3 Nibiru for now. This was Book of Eclipse, but when I'm ending on Rudy Kalos and the Kaleido Heart, I want Nibiru in my hand over Book of Eclipse because you can nib your opponent, it'll trigger your Kaleido Heart on the field, and then you can set something up like a Dracostapelia after. So yeah, I think Nibiru actually has good synergy in this deck, as well as being able to counter things like tier. So that's just something to keep in mind. As well as if Flunder goes super crazy on their 5th summon, if they go into, this is super specific, but if they go into like Robina, Eaglin, M-Pen, and then they go like Guy, and trying to go for Avion as well in the same turn, for like if they're like going for like a super overextended play, you can Nibiru on the 5th one before they tribute summon for the Avion. That's just like a real random thing. So again, the 1 halveness that we now have, I'm gonna go through the tiers, just 1 halveness, 1 Merly, and the 1 Sharon. Obviously that just all went to 1. I'm also only playing 1 Rhino Heart, and the reason I'm playing 1 Rhino Heart is because this card sucks now. It is so sad how bad this card is, unfortunately. Rhino Heart by itself does not actually do anything. It is just a Foolish Burial monster, and it is also the fusion material requirement for Kaleido Heart. But you can also use the Rhino Heart name as King of the Swamp as well, just something to keep in mind. So if you use like a Nessie as one of the 2 level 7s to make the Draco Sack, as I was referencing before, you can detach the Nessie, do the same play, send the King of the, make the 2 tokens, make Cherubini, send King of the Swamp, then make Sprint, and then you can use the Merly, the King of the Swamp, and the Danger Nessie to still go into a Kaleido Heart. So you still have multiple ways to get into that line as well. So, that play is very, very, like, good. And so, yeah, that's why I'm choosing to only play 1. And then 2, TEARLAMENTS Kashtira. This is another card that's awkward because it's not an Aqua-type monster. It is only good, like, as a level 7 mostly. Like, it doesn't go into a lot of monsters. Like, I know that Rudikalos is a tier monster plus Kikalos, but the Kikalos has to be King of the Swamp now. So you can't, you can't fuse with this card. So this can never be used to make Rudikalos. So like this card's just super awkward now. So I don't understand why you would still play 3 of it. It's not like good for fusion material because Kikalos doesn't exist. It is literally, it just doesn't do anything. So it's just a level 7 extender that's searchable with tier cards. That's all it is now. Like you're never fusing with it anymore. It sucks. But yeah, just something to keep in mind now. Like you have to think of like the ratios now. They're going to be different of how this deck has to evolve. Because we're playing King of the Swamp, I'm playing the 1 polymerization. To be honest, this card sucks. I almost want to cut it because you almost never need to use it. So this might just be cuttable in my opinion, but we'll see how time goes on. And if you want to test this deck, like obviously like make changes to how you like it. I am playing one of the new Prime Planet. This is to search either Fenrir or TEARLAMENTS Kashtira as level 7 extenders. Very, very good, of course. You're never going to do the second effect, but, just being able to use Terraforming into this or this now just gives it some nice options as well as set rotation in the deck as well. 3 of the Tier Planet, I'm just going to call it. Yeah, this card's still broken. It's still at 3. Like, this is one of the best ones. So, a lot of the plays that you can do now are going to be involving, like, having Planet on the field, making Kaleido Heart, and then using the Planet to pop the Kaleido Heart to then dump, like, Scream, and then you Scream to search a trap, and then you're kind of set up from there in a very good situation. Like I said, set rotation because we have the extra field spell now. 2 copies of Super Polymerization. This is just something that's helpful against like Kashtira here and there. You can send away the Arise Heart because it is a dark actually, so you can go into Mud Dragon if you normal summon like a tier name, or if you have like a stray danger on the field, so you can go into Mud Dragon with the Arise Heart to clear it off the board. It's also just like generically good, with Garua and Mud Dragon existing, many decks have the same type of attributes, so this is going to be live a lot of the time. 3 TEARLAMENTS Scream. I'm going very heavy on Scream because you want extra just monsters in the graveyard to flood it. 2 Scream, well, you have to still consider that tier can play on both players' turn, and so if you have Scream on the field, it's going to be mill 3 on your turn, 3 on your opponent's turn. So that's you have to consider Scream as like a mill 6 almost in a way, to be able to get those extra mills that you need to load your graveyard up, and it's just very, very important. And you want to mill this as well to set up your trap cards, because now your trap cards are going to be your main. Like your really main sources of eruptions. It's not going to be like all monsters with 1 trap. It's going to be like, I would say like 2 monsters, 2 traps is usually the way I'm trying to go with this. Like I said, the 1 Terraforming, 1 Meta Noise. This is just good against Kashtira. This might be bumped up to 2. I might go 2/2. But I really, really like 3 Soliac because you need to mill this card. It is so good. This card is broken. Like, it's amazing on the field. It's amazing when you mill it to the graveyard. Like, it's so good. And you can discard it with dangers. This card's amazing. So yeah, I'm like just playing 3 for now. It's been working out amazing on my, the way I've been drawing with it. So, yeah, I love this card so much. So that's the main deck for now of where I think tier is going to go. Let's go into the extra deck. This is where it gets a little hard. And the reason it gets hard is because of the way Kashtira, and now I have to include Dinosaur as well, because they have 3 Lithosagems. So not only is Kashtira going to be ripping your extra deck with Unicorn and Diabolos, you also are now going to have Dinosaur ripping your extra deck with Lithosagem. If you don't remember, it rips 3 different monsters with different names from your extra deck. That is so fucking annoying. So when you're playing this deck, like building an extra deck is so hard. So for now, this is probably not the proper ratios of everything in there still. I have 1 Garura, 1 of the Dark World, because you can make it with the King of the Swamp, and it is huge. It is also an Omni Negate, which is pretty good. 1 Mud Dragon, 1 Dracostapelia, because you can still make it, of course. 2 Kaleido Heart, because I think this is the most important card of the deck. And once it's actually gone now, because you do not have Kikalos to revive it anymore, it's actually just gone. You have no resurrection for it anymore. So that's just something to keep in mind. That's why I'm playing 2 currently, at least. The 1 Rudy Kawas, because you can still make it, of course, with King of the Swamp. 2 Zeus, 1 Dracossack for the combo, 1 Babushka still. Again, Babushka push trap is very good against oh my god, this deck, Kashtira. And then 1 Time Thief Redoer. Sometimes you need the combos when you have a Sharon on the field to be able to still be able to trigger it. The 1 Cherubini for the combo, 1 Dark and 1 Sprint. You still have the Dark in the Sprint line. That doesn't change. It's still very good, but this might change. It just depends on whatever rank 2 you want to play as an extra way to get into Sprint. So for now, that is the deck. I have been, like I said, I've been mock drawing with it, and it has been going pretty consistently with Rudy Kalos, Kaleido Heart with 1 to 2 trap cards behind it. That is pretty good, because considering the fact that when you use one of your interruptions, you also are going to be sending more tier names to the graveyard to then be making other interruptions in the form of, maybe the Grafa or the Dracostopelia. So, just something to keep in mind. But overall, that's the list. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'm going to be making probably more decks throughout this week because of this huge ban list, and now I feel like everything's playable again. At least it opened up a lot of doors to new decks. Obviously, it's still going to be, in my opinion, that Kashtira just getting a whole slew of support, that it's going to be the best deck, so that's going to be the deck to beat. But it's also a way more telegraphed deck that is way more linear, so it's a little easier to play around. So I hope you guys enjoyed the deck. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know what you would change. And yeah, hope to see you in the next video. Bye, guys.